Most of us brew at least 1 cup of coffee a day, but are we really doing it right? Houtte coffee expert Marie-Claude Dessureault explains how important dosage really is when it comes to making that perfect cup. Marie-Claude, can you tell us how much ground coffee do we actually need to make a perfect cup of coffee?
That's a great question, Naeem. Actually, what Houtte recommends is to use 2 tablespoons of coffee for each 6-ounce cup of water.
Wow, that seems like a lot of coffee.
Well, that's probably the most common mistake people make at home when they brew coffee, not using enough coffee. Everybody wants to have coffee that tastes just like at the restaurant or the cafe bistro, but very often we don't use enough coffee and therefore our coffee is not rich enough.
Can you give us a few tips that I can bring home to use with the drip coffee maker that I have?
Sure. Actually, the first thing we should do when we buy a new coffee maker or when you go back home to your coffee maker is to actually measure how much water the carafe holds. Very often we have a measurement on the side telling you that, like in this instance, it says that it holds 12 cups of coffee, but we don't know how many ounces that is. So by measuring the amount of liquid in the carafe, we end up with 64 ounces for this one, which is more or less 10 cups of 6 ounce. So for 10 cups, we would need 20 tablespoons of coffee.
20 tablespoons of coffee. Now, how are we measuring 20 tablespoons of coffee?
Well, 2 ways. We can use a coffee measure like this one, or we can simply use a tablespoon, which is about the same size.
And they're level tablespoons?
Yeah, we want to use level tablespoon and not heaping, because that would make it a little too much.
All right, so let's put your tips to the test and to see if it's not going to be too strong of a coffee.
Well, you'll see the proof is in the cup. We'll go and find for ourselves.
Great. Marie-Claude, looks like the coffee's ready.
Sure is. As you can see, we're not quite at the 12-cup mark, and that's perfectly normal because some of the coffee or the water gets absorbed by the coffee grounds inside, so good to go.
Great, so how about we share a cup?
So what do you think?
It's a perfect cup.
Told you so.
Thanks for your tip, Marie-Claude.
You're welcome.